Welcome students, I'm going to demonstrate to you how exactly we could use one-dimensional array for getting scores of students who have given a math Olympiad examination or a math Olympiad test. So we are particularly taking 5 students. So I will just place that information before we could start the program as a commit. So let me make it a little bit bigger. So these are the scores of 5 students who have given a math test. So we are going to use array to get the data and then to display the data. So let's do that. So I'm going to start with include IO stream using namespace std, and then start up the parent function into main, and then we need to declare the array. So the array has to be declared. So we can either declare it as a int or double. So I'm going to say int student math, and then you have to open the square parenthesis, and we are looking for 5 students. The index will start from 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So when we are hitting 4, 5 students entry would already be inside that. So that's fine. And now over here we can give in the student score actually. So student math, the first student, so 0 will indicate the first student's score. So we can have that to be as say 90, and we can copy that and paste it 4 times, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and change the index. This is very critical. If you make a mistake in the index, your output would be filled with error. You will get an output, but it will have an error. So you have to be a little bit careful with assigning elements. So we got 0, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to change the scores as 91, 92, 95 and 49 or something like that. Let us assume one student did not perform well. So that is the end of the array. So now we need to display the elements of the array. So for that I'm going to use for loop int I is equal to 0. I is strictly less than, I got 4, I'm going to take 5 and then I'm going to increment I, and then I will give the cout. Cout is going to be student underscore math square parenthesis I, close the parenthesis, and you give a endl, and then you complete the block, you give the return and then close the parenthesis. So probably you can have a cout there, cout student scores in math Olympiad or math test in there. So that's fine. So this looks okay. Let's build it and see the output. So you have got the scores here, 90, 91, 92, 95 and 49. So as I mentioned to you, 5 students, and if you are interested in getting the students index, or I would say, for example, you are assigning the first student to index 0, second student to index 1 and so on and so forth, you can also get that displayed there. So probably you can give something like this, student number, and you can give it in double quote and display the I. That's the index, reference index we are using, and this would give us the output that we are looking for. Let me build it and you can see, probably you see that there is no space. Actually, that's the reason we are getting it. So let me give some space. After this, you can give one tab space, and if you do that, if you save it and build it, the output will look much better. You see that this is the way the output is looking. Student number, that's fine for now. Now what I wish to do is, I would like to externally pass the data from the user side. So just imagine that this is the score that student have received for the test 1, and they want to take this test again. So in that case, we can give C out, okay, scores after the retake. So students are not happy with their output or with their test scores, and they are getting a retake. So for that we need to get the data. So we need to receive the data. So let me copy this for loop, and then I will place it here. Student scores after the retake. Probably I can give a C out here. Enter student mark and retake. So this would prompt, and instead of all of this, I need to give a C in, and don't give endl in C in. You will get an exception. So the marks are entered here, and then now what I wish to do is I would like to print that input. So I'll copy this, and then what I will do, I will take this out and place it here so that it will give a better meaning. So student scores, and so this one is better, but we need to also tell the user something, right? So that is going to help us in giving some information to the person who's using the interface, right? So over here we are receiving the student scores. Over here we are printing the student scores, and then we are completing the program. So let's build and see if we have got any errors. That looks fine. So clearly you can see that the student scores in math test is displayed, and enter the scores of students in the retake. So everybody is incrementing by 1, right? So 91, this person is getting 92, this person is getting 93 and 96, and the last student is getting, say, he is getting 90. So the retake has done something good to the student. So if we place the enter key in, we will have to get the new scores. So we will be able to identify that the program that we have written is working indeed. So let me give enter. Scores after the retake. So in this case, we have to get the scores back, but apparently we haven't changed the C in here. You see that? So we should have taken the C in down and given as a C out. So we should have given a C out over here. So we don't need this. We can just say, we can copy this in fact, and instead of this we can place that. So scores after the retake, and this is okay. So this will be the new array. So let me just save this and build it, and this is how it looks. This is the first set of array. This is enter the student's marks in the retake. So as I mentioned to you, let us assume that each of the students have increased their score by 1 point. So 91, 92, 93, 96, and this student has incremented by 90. So you can clearly see this is the new scores after the retake: 91, 92, 93, 96. And the reason I gave 90 is you would be in a position to identify that the new elements that we are looking in is actually a new set of data that has been appended from the previous case. So this is a beautiful illustration to understand arrays. Now you can literally add or manipulate the elements in the array. So let me just show you that also. Now we need to head on to the next level. What is the next level? The next level is to learn how we could manipulate the data that we have stored in this array. So gradually we will increase our knowledge base. So now we are on the next level. If we were to see the output, let me just show you that. So we have got the scores of students in a math test, and this is just data, raw data. No inferences can be drawn from this. Now imagine you would like to know the average score for the first test. So for that you need to first get the total, right? So I'm going to show you how to calculate the total and then get the average. So let's do that. So let me go back to the code, and in the code I have to declare two variables. So I'm just going to initialize this variable sum is equal to 0, and I'm also going to declare this variable average. In this case you need to initialize this count variable. This is going to be augmenting the scores every time the for loop runs. So what I wish to do is I will copy this for loop over here. So this is going to be printing the array. So now I'll give a comment: the addition of all data elements in the array is done here. So that is for your understanding, and let me paste the for loop. So we need to change this, right? So over here I'm just going to utilize sum. I don't need this. So sum, we give a space and a plus and an equal to, and then we can take this out. So this is going to be a counter. It's going to be every time the loop runs, the first element in the array would be added, followed by the second element and the third element, and so on and so forth. So this one will accumulate all of these values. Now if you want to print these values, you can simply give a cout here. Cout the total score of all the tests of all the students is equal to, you can put in sum followed by endl, because we got other lines of print coming in. So we got this print coming in. So let me give a break there. So this is the output. So I want to give an asterisk just to give a demarcation for understanding the output. So now let me save it and show the output to you. I'm building it. So you can see the addition is performed here. You see that the total score of all the students is equal to 417. So this is the first thing, and then the loop goes on, right? The loop gets executed. Now I want to find the average here. So what should I do for that? So as you are aware, I have already declared this variable average. So what I wish to do here is that after this I will write this line of code. Average is equal to the sum value divided by 5. We are talking about 5. You should be aware that the very fact we are using arrays is because we are aware of the number of items that has to go into the array. So that's why I clearly know that we are talking about 5 students, right? That's the data that we have here. So 3 plus 2, 5. So that's the reason I am placing the division by 5. And then after which probably you can have another cout, and then you can say cout average is equal to, and then you can say average, and then you can give an endl, and then you can give this pattern, right? So that's fair enough, that's fine. So if I were to build this, we get this output: total score of all students 417, the average is equal to 83, and then we are heading back. Now we can repeat the same process for the retake also, right? So if we were to perform the retake, all you need to do is just take the code and place it back. So that wouldn't make much of a difference. What we have just done here, you need to do it simultaneously for the retake also. So we will be able to achieve that. So having said that, just to have a recap, we defined the array, we established the purpose of an array, and then we dealt with a one-dimensional array. We saw how exactly we can assign elements or data elements to the arrays, and then we were able to print the data elements, and then we were able to append the data elements externally, and then get it printed back, and after which we were also able to perform some arithmetical operation on the elements of the array and display it. So this completes this lesson, students. We will move on to the next one.